can see a guy waiting, at the ferry pier. He's alone, so it might be a good silhouette shot. Let's try to grab that. Good morning from Onomichi. I will be here today and tomorrow, and I only brought my Fujifilm X100VI, so I'll be shooting at the 35mm focal length. I'll bring you along and maybe explain a bit of my thought process, some compositions along the way. The last time I was here was more than a year ago now. I came with the Sony A7C II and a zoom lens at the time. So today the experience will be quite different, shooting with only one single focal length. I think now Onomichi became quite trendy after going viral on social media, saying that this is a town that looks like taken out of a Ghibli movie, which is kind of true. But for me, it's a special place because this is where I first met my wife. So yeah, I hope that today and tomorrow I will take more pictures from this place that I like to increase the library of photos I have from here. So hope you enjoy, and let's go shoot. I quite like the depth of this scene with like one car somewhere in the midground, another one in the background. It really creates like some layers, and we have these simple structures with like lines converging really at the center. Quite like that. There's some light also hitting the buildings here on the right. So I'm gonna grab that. I absolutely love this scene here with the cafe sign on the left, and just this building as a whole looks pretty nice. A bit of light here in the background. Despite the weather forecast, there's a bit of blue sky in the background. I got a shot with someone cycling towards me, but I'm not sure there's a good subject separation, but still, it adds a little bit to the frame. Yeah, pretty happy with this one. When taking photos of these shops in these little streets, I'm just careful with like the edges of my frame to make them end somewhere. There's not too much like distractions popping in from the edges. That's a pretty nice angle now with the kind of old abandoned shop, I would say, here, with the sign of this butcher, the street, and the light coming from like that side, so it's a bit backlit. The light is coming in and out. It'd be nice to have someone on the street, but not sure it's gonna happen. I always like taking photos of things through these frosted windows, especially when it's like plants, a bit colorful elements. So I was about to say that I love the colors with the brownish kind of part here on the building, that electric pole with the mirrors, and that gray shutter that is bright enough to have someone like walking in front of it and have good subject separation. So I want someone to walk or cycle in front of that. I had one shot before, I'm not sure if it's good enough. The timing, like the gait and the way she walks is not perfect, so I will give it a bit more time to try to have a better version of this scene. This right here looks pretty cool with the faded blue shutter. You have the electric pole. Also, like this pipe here is full of rust, bringing so much like color, and it complements well with the blue from the shutter. We also have the red from the vending machine that is also in the storefront. So there are a lot of colors, but they are like replying to each other quite nicely. So I was thinking of something vertical here. So let's grab the shot. Once again, a scene where we have a subject at the end of, I don't know how we can call that, like, it seems like something should be built here to like complete this face of the street, but there's none, and we have this little house at the end, really at the center, with some leading lines like pointing to it. really like that. And bonus point goes to this antenna on top. I don't know, it just add a little bit more character. I just did what we can call a detour because I came into this street that seemed a bit more quiet because I wanted to film my intro, but here I am like almost 2 hours later because I just got lost in all these little streets. So many scenes and colors and like these rusty kind of old vibes that I like from Onomichi. I came here with almost no plan, so I will just follow whatever is offered to me. Anyway, the weather is also taking a turn to something a bit more overcast, so like regardless of where I am, the lighting condition will be roughly the same, so I don't have to think too much about my position and my angle towards the light. So yeah, I'll go back more towards the main area and let's see what we can capture there. I've been collecting a few of these like texture things since arriving to Onomichi, and for that I like to use the crop feature of the X100VI. So I jump into 50 or 70 mm equivalent and I frame something a bit more tight with a bit more compression. I think it looks good like that, and you still have plenty of resolution, so the photo is sharp enough. It's really quite annoying to admit for someone like me who is very pragmatic and who loved my Sony camera, I still love my Sony cameras, but this thing is so fun to shoot with despite all the quirks and sometimes the frustrating aspects of it, but just want to keep shooting with it. I didn't stop except for like a small bite at noon, but now I'm just refreshed and I want to shoot more. I love this house with this very triangular roof. See, the tiles are also like this kind of blue teal color. Would look a bit better with more light to bring this color to life, but anyway, I try to frame so that these mirror things and the pole are far enough from the main subject, so that house in the middle, so there's enough space to like separate everything, no overlapping, and making these shots as clean as possible, despite the fact that it's really messy with like the roads going up, the railing, all the colors, but yeah, I will frame my shot and let's see how it turns out. Well, I assume that's what people mean when they say that this town look like just coming straight from a Ghibli movie. They are not wrong. To make it even better, like there's plenty of cats running around this area, like on this hill that goes up to the Senkoji, so a beautiful temple that looks on all this town. Is it the sea? Is it the river? I don't really know, but yeah, I really love this place. The tree here, like the branches that kind of frame this little house. This one, I think I can frame it like horizontally, because on all these little alleyway, it is so like small and tight that I tend to shoot a lot vertically. But here, I think I can get something nice. So let's do it. Only 2 people left here on this platform, hoping to get the shot maybe with only one, which would be quite nice. Oh, maybe it's happening now. regardless of the season, there's something I will never miss when I come to Onomichi is this Mikan Softo. So it's a tangerine ice cream. It's a must regardless of the weather. Recently I did not use too much this DJI Osmo Pocket 3 that I'm using right now to film this, and reason being is that with the Osmo Nano, like, it's so easy to stick to yourself and use it as a POV camera. So definitely the Pocket 3 is not made for this, so I was thinking of getting rid of it. But recently, to give it a last try, I got this Ulanzi like clip that you attach to it that has a magnet behind, and this is so much fun to use because you can stick the Osmo Pocket 3 pretty much everywhere that has some metal, so that can magnet to it, and it's very cool to film yourself shooting photos or whatever you're doing, and potentially also for this kind of aerial shot on location. That little accessory makes the Pocket 3 a lot more fun and a lot more useful, so probably it will stay in my kit. There's still some light and it is not blue hour yet, but it is dark enough. I guess after 5 p.m. some shops light up their light. I like this moment, this very short sleeve of time where it's still bright, but the light is on. It's lacking a bit of color, but there's definitely a nice mood to that scene. What is this place? There are K cars everywhere. They belong to the town and they are used to whatever mission they are on, but you see, K cars everywhere. So the light made a very short operation. So now it's 5 p.m. and because it is so overcast, like, we are losing the light, there's not too much to work with anymore. So that will conclude the first day. I think I will go down to the Shotengai, so the shopping street, to shoot a bit more with artificial light. So if I get anything interesting, there will be some stuff here before day 2, and probably I will start early tomorrow morning. There is one thing you have to do when you come to Onomichi, apart from taking photos, is eating Onomichi ramen. I just had a bowl at Maruboshi. This is my favorite ramen spot here, Maruboshi ramen, and yeah, it's just so good. And it's a bit lighter than the other types of ramen because the broth is partially made with fish bones, I think, and it's just so good. So go try it. Very nice here with the entrance, like super bright artificial light. There's a bit of a blue hour in the back. This store in the foreground is much darker than this light, so this light will appear like almost like, I don't know, heavenly. Let's see how the camera handles this kind of dynamic range. And good morning from day 2 of this little photography adventure here in Onomichi with the Fuji X100VI. The forecast for this morning is still pretty overcast and it rained a lot during the night, so I thought that was not really worth it to go on top of the hill next to the temple to have a view of the sunrise, because there's none of it. I thought it would be much more interesting to come here by the pier, by the water, take photos of this like blue hour. I was quite surprised that there was still a bit of mist or something, like a texture in the air. Coming from humidity and yeah, after the rain. So that's what I've been photographing this morning. I think I got some pretty cool shot with like the boat, the ferry, with one single guy like waiting to board while still everything was blue around him. The street lights, they contrast well because they are very orange, at least when I use the daylight white balance. And as you can see, I'm still rocking my backpack, although I have a sling bag at the hotel and I still have the hotel room until 11 a.m. I do that because recently I feel like with a backpack I am much more focused and stay involved in my photography session because I have my phone and everything in the backpack, so it's just a lot more hassle to grab the phone to check maps or whatever and then get distracted. So I have everything on me, the camera, I have my Osmo Pocket 3 that is filming now, I have my Osmo Nano in the other pocket, and I have everything I need. With this thing there's also the ND filter inside, so that's perfect. I never need to check my bag unless I need to pay for something. I have my wallet inside, but just like these little things that can really help to stay focused, shoot more, and come back home with more interesting shots, I think. I like the combination of these two benches here on the foreground and the boat on the right side. It's just that there is this railing on the left that I need to like move away from the benches. I don't want them to overlap, but if I come here, then like the boat and the benches are getting further apart from each other. So yeah, it's good to find a good balance, but here it looks pretty nice. It's not supposed to rain after 6, but yeah, it's getting wet again. I didn't bring any umbrella or cap, so I think it could be a smart decision to go somewhere, grab a bite and a coffee to warm up, dry a little bit, and go back stronger. See, there's still some very low clouds on the top of the hill, so it adds so much mood. I think I can tilt a little bit my composition here and wait for someone to walk in the street just to add a little bit of a human presence, but even as it is, it looks quite cool. I always wanted to shoot one of these scenes where I opened the curtain at the hotel, but when I woke up it was completely dark, so I'm doing it now as I check out. Here I see something quite tight following on the roof of these like the temples and all these little buildings attached to it. There's also the tree, but what I see is probably so tight that the tree will not be in the final shot. So let's have a look at 70 mil. Yeah, the tree is barely in, and at 50 it is not tight enough. So yeah, 70 mil equivalent. Cut out the tree, really having just the roof. Maybe put this lens at f8 to have a bit more sharpness. Really love this little house making the angle. Is it an angle? I don't know, like there's this walking path going on the right side. It's kind of triangular. It looks very special, I would say. There is the railing that leads to it, so it creates a nice leading line. There are these citrus trees on the left side to just give a little bit more texture and a bit more context. If you know about this region, this is known for citrus fruit, any sorts of lemon, oranges, tangerine, all things like that. And the sky is still very overcast, but I think it's good. It doesn't distract from the main subject. So yeah, it's pretty simple, but very effective, I think. This is not a brand new house, definitely. Is there a way to frame the house and that palm tree together? Definitely landscape orientation will not fit, so let's do it vertical. If only I had a bit more space to walk around. As you can see, I shot that one at +1, and if I flick through the different display, this is the histogram, and also it would like blink if anything was overexposed, which is not the case. So yeah, I think it will be a good file to work with in post. So I realized that I already talked quite a lot to the camera today and yesterday, so I will use the remaining maybe 3-4 hours for me to focus on photography and maybe grabbing a few clips, but all with one camera, try to enjoy myself. So I'm logging out now, but I guess this video is not finished, so you can stay around for more photos and clips from today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.